Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Logan figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beasts we know about. You stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Quick look at the box. Up at the top, it says Logan. You can actually see some visible, I guess purposely placed sort of like scratches and indentations and what have you on there. Picture of Wolverine's fisted, clawed hands here. Up at the top it says 112 pose play display. Some pictures of the figure on the back. Same thing on the opposite flap. Let's get this guy open, see what's what. Alright, here we go. Mezco Toyz Marvel Comics Logan figure. If it's one thing that Mezco knows how to do, or any company for that matter, if they're successful and they're doing the right things, they're going to sell you premier characters over and over and over again. So this is Mezco's 5th Wolverine, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I could do this off the top of my head. We had the Tiger Stripe Wolverine, which I thought was okay, but I kind of fell out of love with him. And then we had the Brown Suit Wolverine, which I thought was trash, and I passed. And then we had the X-Force Wolverine, which was cool, especially when pairing it up with the X-Force Deadpool. And then I think it was the 5 Ronin Wolverine, which I think may be the best Wolverine. No, actually before 5 Ronin was the Old Man Logan Wolverine, which was really good. And then 5 Ronin, and now here we are with basically a street clothes version of Wolverine, what they're labeling as Logan. And I think they did a pretty nice job with this guy. I don't have too many complaints. I do have a couple of gripes. I'll go through them. But this is how he comes out of the package with the cowboy hat. The hat is fixed to the head. I'll get into that a bit more shortly. But I think he looks really good. I do think this looks nice. Let's take a closer look at this deco and this head sculpt before I start swapping things on and off. So like I said, the hat is fixed to this particular head. So when you swap out the head, it's the head and hat. But if you look up under the brim of his cowboy hat, you can see his blue eyes. You can see his right eye is sort of squinted, smaller than the left eye. And I think that's pretty cool, especially if you start doing one of these numbers and tilting the head. It'll definitely give him some character and make for some cool shots. But I think that this head sculpt looks good. I think the detail on the hat is really nice. You can see that. Looks like a good leather hat. Doesn't look cheap or anything like that. And you can see sort of some design or some pattern there. And I think this looks good. I'm not mad that they actually fixed the hat to the head, but I do not like the neck. And I have talked about this before with the Ronin Wolverine, and I think just the Ronin Wolverine, but I think the neck looks a little funny. I don't know, something looks off. It looks like it may be a little too thick, and it's kind of a different tone from his chest, and that looks kind of weird. My man John Papa Sergio had pointed that out, but I had agreed with him because this was a complaint of mine before. Minor complaint. It's not a huge deal, but I do think the neck looks a little odd. The white wife beater I think looks really good. It's form-fitting. You know, you can't be running around with a loose wife beater, and I think that looks great. And then down to his jeans. Well, look at his belt buckle. I think this looks great. It looks like leather, and you can make out the bull insignia here on the front of the belt, and I think that looks really good. You can make out the loops to the belt and see that the belt is looped through here, and that all looks very good. Pockets on the back of the jeans. He's got the mom jeans. No zipper or anything on the front, and I can see that this is a little off center, but I guess I can fix that. Stitching down the side. His jeans look really good. The boots look good. The cowboy boots are through and through, so you can see them all the way up here to the top. I guess they like 3/4 inch boots. You know, they come up to the back of his calf here, and everything here looks very good. And you can actually see hair on his shoulders and on his bicep and on the forearm there on both sides, and I think that looks pretty good. And you can see the hair on his chest, and you can see hair on his back. So we all know that Wolverine is a hairy dude, so it was good that they represented that here. Out of the package, he comes with 2 fists, and then he's packed in with the right hand that is open with the finger slightly spread. It is semi-cupped, and then a left hand that is also open and cupped a little tighter. You can use this to kind of hold the item, or you can use this one to put his hand up to the brim of his hat and tilt his head down and do one of those numbers if you want. So, you know, whatever you want to do. These are both hands that we've seen before with previous Wolverines. And of course he's packed in with a couple of fisted hands with the claws extended, and these look fine. I've never had any issues with this particular hand in the past, or these hands in the past. So I think the claws are the right length. I think they look metallic. I don't have any issues here. He's also packed in with some dog tags, which I thought was a nice little addition. Let's see if you can make this out, but it does say James Howlett, or Howlett James, and there's a number on there, so attention to detail, that's great. And upon closer inspection, that number on there, it looks like it was a birth date. I had to really squint for that. I think I might need glasses, but it said 1974. We know that that's not his real birth date. I'm not sure what significance that date may have, but it said something 1974, and it also had his blood type on there. It said type A, so that's cool. But getting the dog tags on him actually takes away a little bit of my disdain for this neck. So that looks great though. And here's a look at that neck peg, which looks pretty standard. Of course I had to pop off the head to put the dog tags on, and I made sure the little clasp was towards the back of his neck as well. And he's packed in with 2 additional head sculpts. So this was the one that I was just not excited about from the promo images. In hand, it does look a little better, but he still does look kind of like, kind of weird. But it's not terrible. In hand, it is better, but it's just not as menacing or as deadly looking as I think most people would want for Wolverine here, for Logan. But it's not bad. I think it'll photograph nicely, and it is an additional head sculpt, so I'm not going to complain too much. And then the second head sculpt is supposed to represent, I guess, his patch persona. Obviously, he's wearing an eye patch there on his left eye, and the right eye is squinted, sorta, and you can see all of the brow marks up there on his forehead, and he's got the 5 o'clock shadow. And this one looks great. It's great detail. It's nicely painted, as was the last one. All of the head sculpts are really nicely painted, and overall they all look great in my opinion. And then his final accessory is his little leather bomber here. So let's get this out, get it on him. There is a working zipper, but you should absolutely be careful with that. The other Mezco that had a working zipper was, I don't remember, but whatever it was, I unzipped it and I left it unzipped, and I wasn't trying to put it back. So it'll probably be the same deal here with this. All right, there's that. I think that looks pretty decent, at least from the front. I think I could do some more adjusting as far as the back goes. I don't like how it's kind of bunched up there at the lower back, but it is a really nice fit. And probably my only issue is that the zipper here looks a little oversized. But I mean, what could you do if it was any smaller? You wouldn't be able to unzip it or do much of anything with it. I did start to zip it back up just to see how that looked, but I was feeling a little uneasy about that. So you try that on your figure. I'm not zipping this up, but I think the full-on look here looks very nice. I'm with that for sure. All right, articulation. You saw that the head and neck were 2 separate parts, so you can turn them here at the lower neck separately from the head and vice versa. You do get a very good range of motion. You can get them to look down pretty far, really far actually. Get them to look up. You can pivot, do a full 360. I have no issues with the range of motion for the head and neck. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up pretty far. Obviously, when you don't have the jacket on, you will get the full range of motion. You can even do a full 360. There is a slight butterfly joint in here. It would be nice if that was better. I don't know if I need to work this a bit more, but it would be nice if the butterfly joint was working more. There is an upper bicep swivel, which is something you don't normally get with a lot of Mezcos. So all of this in the upper torso is pretty good. You do get a double jointed elbow, which is another thing that I've complained about a lot with Mezco figures. There is a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. You get upper torso articulation. You get a decent ab crunch. The entire upper torso, head, neck, shoulders, chest, ab is actually really good. I'll give them that. You can't turn them too much at the waist, so that's the only issue that I have with the upper torso. Legs are not going to come up that far unless you kind of try to hike the pants up a bit, but you will start to stress the material on the back here pretty quickly as you put the legs up. So the legs are not going to go up too far. There is the upper thigh swivel there. He does have a double jointed knee. There is a swivel and a hinge and a slight pivot on the foot. So I do wish there was better waist articulation and maybe a bit more give in these pants, but if they did anything else with the pants, they would look way too loose. And these should probably even be a little bit more form-fitting for what they were going for here with the cowboy boots and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a little give and take here, but I'm not too upset with the articulation. It is much better for some of the things that they've done in the past, so not bad. All right, let's have a little fun here. Some size comparisons with Wolverines of the past. There is the Tiger Stripe Wolverine on the left and the X-Force Wolverine on the right. So you can see they're all about the same size. Looks like they're using the same buck for the most part. It's just that with the different boots, they appear to be different heights, but it's just because of the boots, I assume. All right, so I think that the fun factor comes in with this Wolverine if you have some of the other ones and you can do some head swaps. Like I said, I didn't get the brown suit version, so I'm not sure what Unmasked Head came with that one, or if anything came with that one. I'd have to look at it. I guess something will be popping up on the screen here. But the Tiger Stripe Wolverine came with this really crazy looking smiling head. So let's see how that looks on here. So there's a look at that. That's an option. And vice versa, if you want to have him sort of relax without his mask on and chilling with his cowboy hat and his uniform, you do have that option. And there's the snarling angry face version that came with Logan here on the Tiger Stripe body. And of course you can do the same swaps on the X-Force body. That looks good. And looking at the 5 Ronin Wolverine on the left and Old Man Logan on the right, you can see how those all look together. And I didn't realize, but I thought the unmasked head that you received with the Ronin Wolverine was different than what you just got with Logan, but it seems to be the same. It just looks like this one has a little more flesh tone to it. Looks like the paint job might be just a little different on the 5 Ronin. But it looks like the expression is pretty much the same. Hope that's showing up all right. I think I've done this swap before, and I've complained about the head sitting kind of low on the neck. So this is the head that came with the Logan figure on the Old Man Logan body. But again, I don't like the way the head is sitting on there. So it's the same head from that and the Ronin Wolverine. And there's Patch, which is sitting kind of low too. And if you want to go with a modern look on the Old Man Logan body, then you can. So if you want to change up his outfit, I don't see any issues with that. And if you want to go with a relaxed look on the Logan body with the Ronin 5 Ronin Wolverine head, you can. If he's just kind of chilling, working on his bike or something like that, I guess you could pull this off. So again, having the other Wolverines is definitely great for swapping and doing some different things. And maybe I'll get the jacket on the Old Man Logan and do some swaps there. Definitely be exploring some more things on Instagram. I'll get one more size comparison in here. And there he is next to Redpool, Deadpool, and Punisher. And I've always maintained that I think Mezco could have made this Wolverine a bit shorter. I think he should have been about the height of Popeye. I've said this a few times. But he is visibly shorter than some of the other taller Mezcos, so I guess it still works. Alright, I gotta get up out of here. I'm close to 15 minutes. This is definitely one I would recommend. If you don't have any of the other Wolverine figures, this is probably a good one to start with. I mean, I know a lot of people still are searching for the Tiger Stripe Wolverine. But I mean, like I mentioned, if you have some of the other ones, this one is only going to be that much more fun to mess around with. My mind is running a mile a minute as far as displays and setups and things I want to try and things I want to do. So look out for those things to pop up on Instagram and in the A.C.B.A. Facebook group. So follow me on social media. Thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
Crispy.